Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the EKN Radio Network and episode number 10 of This Week in Karting. It is May the 30th, 2019. And again, this particular podcast, which is now the 10th episode, as I said, an opportunity where David Cole and I, Rob Howden, grab all of the news that has worked its way to the homepage on eKarting, bring it to you in podcast form, perfect for the morning commute or heading back home from work. This particular edition of This Week in Karting is presented by J3 Competition. Rotax is officially back in America, and J3 Competition is the iconic brand's new importer and distributor for the northern half of the United States. Rotax is a world leader in two-cycle technology, and J3 Competition brings over 75 years of experience to the brand here in the United States. They're focused on club and regional support and a pair of big events offering tickets to the grand finals in Italy. Check out the new Rotax USA program at racerotax.com. All right, David, we may have to change the name of this podcast from This Week in Karting to This Month in Karting because the month of May was a bit busy. Our last show, episode 9, was April 29th.
Yeah, that was just before we went to Utah for the Superkarts USA Spring Nationals, the second stop of the Pro Tour. And unfortunately, May is a busy month for you as you're not exactly in the office for maybe 4 days, I think it was, maybe, by the time you returned from Utah. So, it was... We'll get a little bit better as the summer goes on because you'll be home a little bit more and we'll have a little bit more of a normal schedule now.
Yeah, I went straight from the SCUSA Spring Nats in Utah. I actually, it was a one-day turnaround at home to get laundry done, down to the IndyCar Grand Prix for Road to Indy and IndyCar Radio at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home for 4 days, and then, of course, 11 days in Indianapolis. And again, awesome opportunity to see so many of our young ex-kart racers do so well through the Road to Indy. And, of course, big win for Oliver Askew, who still is a driver that so many know from his success in karting. And, of course, the Indianapolis 500 as well. But Oliver winning the Freedom 100 on Carb Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That was pretty exciting. David, let's jump in. You are the EKN managing editor. You're the guy that is responsible for posting all this stuff up to the website. And, man, because it's been a while, we've got 4 pages to hit here in this particular episode of This Week in Karting. And starting it out with kind of we got a bunch of driver moves again. Over the last month. I'll let you get started with some of the moves that have happened most recently.
Yes. Something that didn't come across our news desk, but more along lines of something that we became aware of with Croc Promotion USA. They added Billy Musgrave to the race team and Mad Old Nut Racing operation, the current number 3 driver in the EKN driver rankings for Shifter Kart. 3-time Super Nationals winner and 5-time California Pro Kart champion. Man, definitely a strong CV for Musgrave, as we've seen him racing at the national level since his victory at the Super Nationals in 2012. Now Musgrave Racing Company has become a Croc Promotion chassis dealer. So they'll be under the dealer network there. MRC is still going to be working with other brands. That's something we've been told by Metal Nut Racing owner Todd Oldman. It's just they have a lot on the horizon in terms of the new team with Billy joining Jake French under the tent, and then also with just the brand and different ideas to promote not only their brand but the sport in general as well too.
And again, one of the big things is in talking to Todd, and we're not the place to say some of the stuff they're working on, but they've got a lot of different stuff that they're working on right now that is really impressive. And again, as you said, David, kind of trying to maybe do some new things within the American industry. So stay tuned for some cool stuff from Mad Old Nut Racing and Croc Promotion USA. But the bottom line is Jake French alongside Billy Musgrave, power duo. This could be impressive. You got to expect some wins out of that twosome of drivers.
Yeah, and talking with Todd, he's really looking at keeping it focused on just these two guys as the team. You know, working with again, like we said, Musgrave Racing Company, and then probably others throughout the country as well. But just these two guys are going to be focused on also going for wins, but more really development and making these chassis work with the tires that we do have here in the United States. Because as we know, they're a lot different from what they typically run in Europe at different competitions there.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what I've in the conversation I've had with Todd. It's all about having these two drivers, this base team where they can do so much development, working on a couple other projects, and then supporting all the other Croc promotion drivers around the country. So this is a dealer network that's starting to grow. It's a brand new program. We've seen them win a lot of races already in 2019, and you got to expect that there's going to be more wins coming down the line as well. David, I'll let you move to the next one too, because again, more driver movement throughout the early part of the season.
Yeah, just prior to heading to Utah, before we taped the our last edition of the This Week in Karting, or This Month in Karting, whichever you want to call it, we got word that Brandon Jarzakrak had ended his partnership with Kart Sport North America. That was something that we followed, obviously, throughout the weekend while in Utah. The three-time champion stepped away from the team and Kart Republic. And actually joined Mike Doty Racing aboard the Tony Kart for the Spring Nationals there in Utah. It was actually a really solid weekend for him, as we typically see Jarzakrak at the front of the field. So it was no surprise to see him there again, placing second on Saturday and then fourth on Sunday. And then actually stole the perfect weekend for Norberg, taking fast lap of the race on
That's
Sunday.
Right.
So it obviously was there, just, again, starting outside both main events was not exactly the optimal starting position for him. Was not able to get through those opening corners as best as he liked, but leads Utah second in the X30 senior standings and is gearing up to go back to United States Pro Kart Series with Mike Doty Racing and a Tony Kart in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that was my next question for you, David. I'm sure you've probably been in touch with Brandon a little bit. Do you expect to see him with Mike Doty for the remainder of the year? Or are we going to see him, obviously, at USPKS, but are we going to see him there for the SCUSA Summer Nats as well?
I think in the near future, obviously now with his school program being done for the summer, he can focus now on racing and doing some driver coaching. I know that's something he's looking at doing a little bit more of. So I think probably up through, I would say, the Summer Nationals, and then maybe we'll see what happens after that. I'm not quite sure, but as of right now, he's sticking with Mike Doty Racing for the near future.
Again, this is episode number 10 of This Week in Karting. It's May the 29th. Coming to the end of May. Last episode was back at the end of April, so lots to talk about here today. Getting news that CRG presented a brand new official website at www.kartcrg.com. Brand new look, some new functions to the website as well, updated pages for products, racing team, of course, the rental kart program. They got a fantastic rental kart program. Those all remain. They've added a clothing line page as well that's now available. They have an updated news section and a dedicated section just for their dealers, which has been renovated as well. So a lot of work from the Italian shop, David, getting CRG's new website rolling.
Yeah, and the rental kart program got a lot of attention this past month, being with Speedway Indoor Karting all winter long with their indoor promotions they had with the Tuesday night program that Chris Wheeler and Dave Dusick had. And I believe David Hunt as well, among others, Swindell Speed Lab. But also during the month of May at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I know Speedway Indoor Karting had a booth and an actual track there a little bit.
Yeah,
so
they did an oval this year, David.
Yeah,
they did. I was watching it. It was fun to watch.
So a lot of exposure for the brand and just karting in general there, as also with as we always typically do with the Indianapolis 500.
The interesting thing, David, of course, Tuesday Night Thunder, the deal that Chris Wheeler put together, which was so cool to watch online, it was a slick track. Well, they put an oval out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway during the month of May, and there was times when it was kind of sprinkling and the rain was coming down. It was an impromptu slick track, and I was watching guys out there because it was tight, but it was fun to watch. Guys were just literally just going back and forth. They're inside, outside in the CRG chassis. So you're right, CRG with a really, really nice rental kart program as well.
Well, that's when you should just keep the track wet then, right, Rob? I mean,
agreed. Yeah.
Well,
let's get the hose out.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, if it's small enough, it just takes a quick sprinkling of, or you could keep the sprinkler going as the races are going on.
That's it. All right, moving forward. Well, Dave, what else we got? We got some stuff for the SCUSA Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge as well.
The SCUSA Great Lakes Pro Kart Challenge has decided to add a new category for their remaining 3 events. It's called G1 Open, which will essentially put the new IAME SSE engine alongside the KZ engine and the Spec Honda at different weight breaks, racing together in one class. The new 175 will be at 415 pounds, KZ at 420 pounds, and then the Spec Honda at 395. And that class is set to make the debut this weekend at Concept Haulers Motor Speedway, as rounds 3 and 4 are contested at the Norway, Illinois track.
Yeah, when it comes to the SCUSA Great Lakes Series, there's just not a lot of places for people to run shifter karts in the Midwest right now. So a great opportunity for Masters age drivers, which SCUSA has traditionally in the years past called G1. And it's cool to see all 3 of the programs getting those weight breaks to go racing. More moves that we did see, David, in terms of driver moves as well. One of the teams we've kind of been watching coming up, they've been running the F Series, and they rolled into the SCUSA Summer Nats last year with Adam Pettit and Salvatore Sparacio. That's the new Solo Kart USA program. And getting word from Adam Pettit that indeed they've added a new driver, and they've added a new dealer, actually. I think a distributor as well. And that's Checkered Motorsports, and the driver is Andrew Bodozo.
Yeah, the best way to get new people on board your chassis is to expand the dealer network, and Checkered Motorsports is now going to basically represent that solo kart brand there in the Midwest. And then adding to that, they're adding Andrew Bodozo as a driver for the brand and for Checkered Motorsports as well. So Bodozo, that actually happened before this past weekend. And Bodozo made his debut at the Gear Up F Series event at Englishtown, finishing second in that event. So a good start for him in the new colors.
There it is. Some information to get things underway. The 10th episode of This Week in Karting here on the EKN Radio Network. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. Stick with us. When we come back, we've got some Cup Karts North America info. David's going to give us some information on the WK event in Charlotte. We got USPKS and Route 66 info coming. So much here on This Week in Karting. And as we said, we probably could call it This Month in Karting, but we're going to stick with the branding. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Karts, parts, engines, tires, and tools. At sharkshifter.com, what you need is just a click away. We carry the biggest names in chassis, like Tony Kart and FA, DR Kart, CRG, and VLR. We have new chassis and all the parts you need. At sharkshifter.com, we also stock top quality replacement parts from Swift Components, like axles, sprockets, and hubs. We have the inventory you need for your stock Honda as well, from cylinders, heads, and engine parts to reeds, exhaust pipes, ignition covers, radiators, air filters, and air boxes. We build our own billet aluminum components as well, including motor mounts and clutch levers. Need to add to your toolbox? We offer alignment tools, brake, battery, and exhaust tools, tire gauges, and hand tools. Stop messing around getting your seat in the right position. We have a seat mounting system that makes it easy. Check the website for monthly specials. If you need it, we can get it to you fast. We ship the same day. Sharkshifter.com, your online source for karts and parts. The shift is on to a new brand and a new way of thinking. Mad Old Nut Racing and Croc Promotion USA are focused on changing the paradigm when it comes to race teams in this sport. And the goal is to support dedicated young racers by giving them the tools and opportunities to succeed. Originally born as Mad Croc, the new branding is Croc Promotion, and Armando Fellini's product continues its dedication to quality and innovation. Croc Promotion USA is the American importer and distributor, and Mad Old Nut Racing is the official race team. We're ready to attack in 2019, and our race results speak for themselves. AJ Myers swept the first 4 Winter Series shifter kart races of the year, and Andrew Bodozo continues to assert himself as an emerging player. Croc Promotion has momentum. Dedicated and talented young drivers, supported and mentored by team owners who know business and who are passionate about karting. That's Croc Promotion USA. That's Mad Old Nut Racing. Search for us on social media and give us a follow. Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network and episode number 10 of This Week in Karting, May the 29th. As I would like to say that we're now firmly into the late spring or summer. David, I'm not sure what kind of weather it is like in Grand Rapids, but it's not warm up here right now. I think I went for a workout yesterday and it was like 55 degrees. It is not summer yet in Ontario, Canada.
We have not yet hit 80-degree weather all month long, which has been very odd because typically May can be one of those months where it's just super duper hot.
I know.
And we've been struggling at the baseball fields trying to stay warm.
I bet. That's just, well, hopefully sooner or later summer's going to come because spring really didn't make much of an arrival. It's kind of like almost, winter right into summer, but now we're getting more like it's been crazy.
I turned my calendar over early when we came back Tuesday to the office. I'm like, forget it. Let's go to June. I can picture June 21st when summer really hits. So
we're here. Good call. Yeah. Good call. All right, David. One of the series that we're watching, and we're actually looking forward to you and I getting a chance to race with at the end of the year is Cup Karts North America. They got their season kicked off at the start of May while we were out in Utah with the Spring Nationals. Big numbers. And David, you and I are always happy when you get a regional series with big numbers. So kudos to Cup Karts North America. Give them some information about that launch of the season at Concept Haulers Motor Speedway.
Yeah, the new brand for the event, the opening event now is the Spring Nationals, which, as you said, was held at the Norway, Illinois facility. Always a popular destination for that series. They always typically get good numbers there, bringing guys from Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, all those, in Ohio, everybody coming together. 268 entries total on the weekend. That features over 100 drivers in attendance. The senior CIK had 37 entries in one day. Masters CIK made its debut with 22 on both days. Just a big event with big numbers and very competitive racing throughout the weekend. A lot of fast guys, a lot of four-cycle guys you probably are familiar with from the 90s. Still racing and coming back, and guys from Rock Island that we only see them the one time at Rock Island, and they're actually coming out and racing at the Cup Karts North America program. So it's very cool to see. But again, that full report's up on EKN and the CKNA webpage, and their program gets back underway this weekend, heading to Michiana Raceway Park in New Liberty, Indiana.
June 1st and 2nd, a lot of racing going on here now. We hope that you guys are getting out there and burning up some fuel, burning up some tires, and having some fun. Entries now open for what could be a pretty cool event here in 2019, the WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge. You got to go back to really the late 90s when they had the big North American Karting Championship at Charlotte. There has been some Manufacturers Cup races there between then. But David Cole, a big race about, 3 weeks from now, June 21, 22, 23, as karting returns to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite what we remember from the North American Karting Championships. Obviously, those were very international events. But this is kind of the rebirth of it. You get 3 races or 3 events at one facility. You have your Man Cup racing and a somewhat temporary circuits using part of the infield road course that they have there that makes up the Roval course. Road racing using up the rest of it to host one of their series events. They actually just got rained out in Gateway the beginning of May, so a lot of road racers are anxious to get back to the racetrack. But I think the crown jewel, at least for the inaugural, WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge, will be the Speedway Dirt event held at the dirt track across the street from CMS. Karts actually racing on the dirt there for the first time ever in a revised, shortened little course to make it more suitable for karts. But I think being right there in the middle of NASCAR country, all the dirt racers basically live in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. I think this is probably going to be bigger than any Daytona event we've seen in the past decade.
I look forward to seeing how that track rolls out. I want to see some photos of it. They've got some really good people coming in to make sure that track rolls out nice, and to be able to be right there, as you said, within the confines of the dirt track at Charlotte. I think that's going to be awesome.
Just to have, just to be racing around those grandstands. I mean, I went there watching the World of Outlaws a couple of years ago when Man Cup was still going inside the speedway. Just being there under the lights is amazing. So I think, as we said, just racing there, period, is going to bring numbers upon numbers of racers. And I think the track will be no issue. I think the guys that they have, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the same person who helped get the dirt track at Daytona working so well this year that it was probably the best it had ever been since Daytona built that flat track outside turns 1 and 2. So the track is not going to be an issue at all. I believe. I think it's just going to be an amazing event.
Nice. Now, as we continue to work through this week in karting and some of the news that have, of course, worked its way onto the homepage at ekartingnews.com. David, I'm going to let you take this one because obviously you've been the guy for EKN at the USPKS races for the last number of years, and USPKS coming out with some news as well.
Well, last year they started the Geo Cup, which is kind of a team affiliation program. It's returning again for 2019, and following the opening event, the Southern Grand Prix at Ocala Grand Prix, they released the points from the opening event. All points are kind of based on podium finishes. So when you turn in your entry, you claim a team that you're affiliated with, so however your results finish, the team gets points. So it's a pretty cool little. It's not quite a chassis based program. It's more of a team affiliated program. So you could have 5 different guys on 5 different chassis, but if you're in the same team, you can all score points for that one team. So it's something cool.
I like that.
Leading the way after the first weekend, Super Tune USA. They scored a number of wins with John Burke, Kai Sorensen, Anderson Leonard. So they're leading the way over defending champions team Nitro Kart, who is tied for second with Franklin Motorsports. Both have 9 points. Spencer Conrad grabbed 2 wins for Nitro Kart, and Josh Holtz was the only win for Franklin, who actually scored a number of podiums on the weekend to help gain them points. 15 teams scored points on the weekend, and the program will continue at the upcoming event, the Carolina Grand Prix at GoPro Motorplex on June 14 through 16.
Talk a little bit as well, David, about the Route 66 Sprint Series. I know they got things rolling, and you talk Route 66, of course, Mark Coates, the promoter of that. He also does the USPKS. 2 really good programs, but Route 66 really has a cool following throughout that entire Midwest schedule that they put together.
Yeah, the opening weekend was a little bit down, mainly because of the weather. Rain Saturday made for tough conditions. Sunday, a little bit windy, but still sunny. Opening up April 26th through the 28th at Newcastle, sponsored by Cartlift Kart Stands. The program is actually removing kid karts for the remainder of the season. So the participation numbers did not warrant the category to be included for the rest of the year. So they have decided to drop that while adding a KA100 Masters category for drivers 30 years age or older, or drivers who are 200 pounds. So that class will make its debut this coming weekend. We know it's going to be a busy weekend at kart tracks all across the country.
Man, okay.
As the series returns for its second event of the year at the Wolf Paving Raceway in Dousman, Wisconsin, obviously the home of Dip Badger Kart Club.
Nicely done. Yeah, a ton of racing going on right now. We'll cap this particular segment off talking a little bit about the Dan Weldon Memorial Pro-Am Karting Challenge that was run at Newcastle Motorsports Park on May the 5th, just ahead of the IndyCar Grand Prix weekend down there. The event at one point was associated with the RoboPonk 200 endurance event, which, man, we'd love to see come back, but was definitely a big deal back in the day. A total of 14 drivers from the NTT IndyCar Series came out to drive to honor the late Dan Weldon, and they were able to raise over $20,000 for the Alzheimer's Association. The winner actually was Colton Herta and the Firestone team. They were able to beat the PNC Bank team with Scott Dixon. IndyCar and IMS, the team with Connor Daly, ended up in third. Yeah, Colton Herta, I heard a couple things here, Dave. So Colton Herta ends up winning. Dave First, who works with me on the IndyCar Radio Network, I guess they were teammates. They had a couple of the guys with them. But I'm told that you were able to like buy laps, I think, as well, depending on how much money you raised. And I think the Weldon brothers went out, the boys went out and did some pretty good fundraising to try to help that team out a little bit.
Yeah, I believe they did that one of the last years that they had it with the Robopong event, and so you had some big corporations putting in some hefty amount of dollars to put their team up a couple laps on the rest of the field. So it's a different, unique way, but a great way to raise money and a great way to kick off the month of May for a lot of the IndyCar drivers and teams and mechanics, because a lot of the mechanics for different teams were racing. I believe such a Will Anderson we've heard in racing before at karts from Wisconsin, a couple other guys that we know that are turning the wrenches for these IndyCar guys back behind the wheel as well too. So
I think Steve Kroc was out there. I think I saw
Steve Kroc was another name. Yep, that's the other
Yeah.
name I was trying to think of. So yeah, it's a pretty cool program. Obviously, we were in Utah, so we weren't able to actually attend, because that probably would have been a great event to just go down and hang out for the day and kind of watch and take in. And that's the great thing about it, is for all the people that live in the Indianapolis area, it's free to spectators, so they can come out and see their favorite IndyCar drivers, scooting around a cart around the Newcastle track. So.
Yeah, and again, David, the bottom line is they're trying to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association, and kudos to all those drivers coming out. They raised more than $20,000, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing the number of different charitable events that happen during the month of May in Indianapolis, because you see and you watch on Instagram and Twitter all the drivers that are doing different events.
Agreed.
either the week of or just during the month leading up to the 500, and definitely keeping the drivers busy throughout the days that they're not on track.
Again, that's the Daniel Weldon Memorial Pro-Am Karting Challenge. We're told that Susie Weldon very optimistic that the event will return in 2020. All right, another break in the action here on This Week in Karting. We're going to talk a little bit about Canada and the Ron Fellows Karting Championship. Some more stuff from the West Coast Karting Championship as well. Essentially, this whole next section, we're going to talk about karting up in Canada. Stay with us. More to come here on the EKN Radio Network.
In late June, karting returns to one of America's most legendary homes of racing. The World Karting Association, the foundation of motorsports, is thrilled to bring karting back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. On June 21st through 23rd, the WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge will host 3 events in one weekend. That's right, 3 major disciplines all in the spotlight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The third stop for the WKA Bridgestone Manufacturers Cup Series is taking competitors to the infield portions of the new Roval circuit, racing around a fast layout, while the WKA Vega Tires National Road Racing Series utilizes the rest of the Roval course for event number 4 of their 2019 season. The Speedway Dirt program invades the dirt track at Charlotte on a revised oval for a 2-day show, and it will be the first time ever that karts have run at this facility. It's new, and it's going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it. Registration is now open, and all the information you may need is available at worldkarting.com.
For over a century, Briggs & Stratton has had a commitment and passion for racing. It's a DNA found in every engine we build today. So whether you kart race, Baja, race quarter midgets, or believe that dirt and snow are just God's way of adding to the challenge, the dedicated spirit of every Briggs & Stratton employee stands at the fence waiting for the green flag to drop. Briggs & Stratton Racing. What powers you?
Welcome back to another episode of This Week in Karting on the EKN Radio Network. This podcast essentially grabbing everything that we put on the homepage, everything that went on to eKarting News, jamming it into a podcast that you can listen to on your way to work or on your way home, or maybe you're just working on the cart, getting it ready in the garage. David Cole, a lot of information coming actually in from Canada. Not surprising, because we're kind of out of the deep freeze up here. Racing just getting rolling. It's not like Southern California, where we could be racing, February or whatever. We got to wait till May pretty much to get racing, but things are now underway. And we got some pretty good news coming as well.
Well, instead of dodging rain, we've been dodging snow up here for a long time, right, Rob?
That's true. Very true. Very true.
One of the bigger news that came out in the last month regarding karting in Canada was the Ron Fellows Karting Championship signing MotoMaster as a title sponsor. Canadian Tire is obviously a huge corporation. I think you can speak a little bit more about that and what actually MotoMaster really is.
Well, that's interesting because indeed, it's for those of you who may not be in Canada, Canadian Tire is an iconic brand. It's essentially, I don't even know it's like an automotive store, hardware store, all together. It's one of our primary places, that people will go to get anything from, your batteries and stuff for your car, lawn furniture, whatever it may be. The bottom line is, it's a major company in Canada, and they have stepped up with MotoMaster, which is their automotive parts brand, their in-house brand, to actually sponsor and support karting through the Ron Fellows Karting Championship. To have that kind of brand on top of our series, I think is fantastic for karting in Canada.
So it's almost like a Napa and a Home Depot got together and had a store, right?
Exactly. Well, if you think about Sears and Sears Craftsman, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But for sure, it's really exactly what it is. Exactly.
So that program is already kicked off, opening up at Goodwood Kartways in the month of May. They actually have 5 events on the 2019 calendar, counting 9 rounds towards their championship. So definitely one of the most attended regional programs in Canada right now.
Yeah, definitely an incredible program with Briggs and Rock Cup competition. Let's move way west, though, because, of course, the Ron Fellows Karting Championship focused on this in the province of Ontario, all the great tracks around the Toronto area. The West Coast Karting Championship kind of got reworked last year, and once again, they have continued a partnership with the Road to Indy team, Exclusive Autosport. Exclusive Autosport has run drivers like Parker Thompson, won a lot of races. They have a major F1600 program in Ontario as well, and that's kind of where things are focusing on. So Exclusive Autosport, which is based in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, supporting the West Coast Karting Championship. David, 4 drivers are going to be awarded single-day tests in one of the Exclusive Autosport's Australian-built Spectrum F1600 cars. What a great opportunity for some young drivers, either trying to move forward in their career or just an experience of a lifetime.
Yeah, either way, it's a great opportunity for a Rotax senior or Rotax junior driver to take advantage. Unfortunately, we're a little late in getting a podcast about this because the deadline to submit a letter is actually tomorrow, May 31st. But I'm sure a number of drivers have already seen the news come about through EKN and other media sources as well. But the series actually got their first event in the books at Greg Moore Raceway in Chilliwack, British Columbia. Obviously a great facility to go karting with outside Vancouver. But their second event is scheduled for June 28th through the 30th at Regina, right? Regina, sorry. I knew it was Regina, but I didn't want to say it without knowing. In Saskatoon with the South Saskatoon Kart Club. So
the South Saskatchewan Kart Clubs.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You're doing great, Dave.
It's Canada. I don't live there.
I know. I get it, buddy. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I could say abbreviations easier.
You did a good job. Again, round 2, June. That's awesome. Again, that's all good. June 28, 29, 30, the next round of the West Coast Karting Championship. Again, kudos to Exclusive Autosport for getting together with the karting program and giving these guys a chance to drive one of their awesome Spectrum F1600 cars.
I was thinking golf because there's a course down here called Saskatoon.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
So I was just talking.
Saskatoon's a city in Saskatchewan. It is.
But that's where I got it. So I was thinking, I was just talking about golf, and I was talking about that course the other day.
So we started in Ontario. We went however many miles to the West Coast. Let's come back to the East Coast for the Canadian Open, which will take place at the Jim Russell Karting Academy at Mont-Tremblant, Quebec on July 19th, 20th, and 21st. That's that track, that amazing track of Mont-Tremblant, built by the Stroll family. Just a great facility.
I believe, the event is open to all drivers, international drivers, Canadian drivers. So able to take part in the event that'll feature winners getting an invitation to the Rotax Grand Finals in Mini, Junior, Senior, DD2, and DD2 Masters. So those categories racing for a big ticket over to Italy. Competitors will have the option to either use their own engines or actually rent an engine from RMC Canada, which is a different, unique option to get to the event. Briggs 206 Senior and Masters and Junior will join the event along with Open Shifter and Open Shifter Masters. Registration now open at maxchallenge.ca. And I believe they just announced that they're going to go clockwise, which I believe is a different direction than what they typically have run there.
Well, I was there for the Canadian Nationals a couple of years ago. I got a chance to announce that event, and I think we went clockwise there. It's an amazing track. I've never got a chance to drive on it, and I was looking at the Canadian Grand Nationals or the Canadian Nationals a couple of years ago, thinking about going to it because I'd love to drive it. This year, it's up at Mosport, which I think I might try to do as well. But we'll find out. We'll give you more information. Obviously, stay tuned to E-Karting News. We always bring as much information. We've connected up with the guys from the Canadian Open. Patrick Moreau is going to keep making sure we have information coming, and we'll get that up on the website for you. One more break to sneak in here before we cap off this edition of This Week in Karting. Stay with us. We'll be back. More stuff to come. Top quality material, all presented in fluorescent yellow. You've seen it, and now you need to choose the flow. Since 2005, J3 Competition has been capturing major victories and championships both on and off the track, redefining the industry with each move. The company took its unparalleled knowledge and rolled it into their own chassis line in 2015, the Comp Kart. The CIK FIA homologated brand has been winning races ever since. There are 3 Comp Kart models to choose from. The Covert 3.0 R19 is the latest design for tag and shifter competition. The Covert 4R serves several popular categories, including 100cc and Briggs 206 racing. The Ranger 28 model is designed for cadet racing and will be the official chassis of the Minimax division at the 2019 Rotax Challenge Grand Finals in Sarno, Italy. And lastly, new karters can get right into the Comp Kart product from the beginning, running the microkart in the Kid Kart division. Visit j3competition.com for more on the fastest growing chassis line in the world. Do it now. Choose the flow. Does the extreme challenge of a round-the-clock event intrigue you? If it does, then put the 24 Hours of America on your calendar. This year's race heads north to Newcastle Motorsports Park on the June 22nd, 23rd weekend for its 10th running. To the premier karting track in North America, one that hosts multiple national karting events each year. This year, we're debuting our Briggs & Stratton LO206 only category, and entries are expected from veterans of the IMSA series all the way to relative newcomers to kart racing. The 24 Hours of America at Newcastle is going to be an incredible event. You supply your kart, and your entry package includes the use of a Briggs 206 engine, safety gear, a home-based tent for your team, your transponder rental, oil, fuel, a set of tires, your pit passes, and 2 hours of practice and 30 minutes of qualifying on Friday ahead of the 24-hour race. We also have Arrive and Drive Briggs 206 packages available. So get your team together and face the challenge that is the 24 Hours of America on June 22nd and 23rd at Newcastle Motorsports Park. To learn more, head to ProCupKarting.com. Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network and episode number 10 of This Week in Karting. It is May 30th, 2019. David, we're going to kind of wrap things up really with just kind of a synopsis of what's happened. Not so much news-wise, but kind of what's been going on in terms of what we've been pushing out, organic and our original content. I'll let you kind of go through some of the work you've been doing because you've been busting your ass, that's for sure.
Well, we've had a number of events through the month of May. Obviously, we left at the SCUSA Pro Tour Spring Nationals in Utah. So that was just before our last taping. So that race reports up, all those race reports are up, along with the WK Manufacturers Cup Series, from Road America and the recent Stars and Stripes Trophy event that was also held in Utah. So those race reports are up there. You had the chance to talk with Terry Trader of the Quincy Grand Prix and talk about how the 2019 event is going to be bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, it's going to be solid. The funny thing is as this podcast comes out, I just did another podcast with Terry today. They're only a week away from that race, and they're closing up to, I think, 270 pre-entries, potential to top the 302 entries they had last year. So that was a good interview, just a regular written interview that we got up on the website with Terry, because I like what they're doing, David. We need to have big events like those in our sport, those marquee events, and it's so cool to see Quincy back on the schedule.
Well, it's a great event, not only because you get to race in a park, but it's because it's a spectator event. It's people who have no idea what karting is, or may have a familiar idea of what karting is, but they come out and they just come to watch, and it's a great exposure for the sport, and to be able to take in how exciting kart racing really is.
15,000 spectators on Sunday last year. You're allowed, people just come out. It's free to come and watch the race. Everybody's all around the South Park of Quincy, Illinois, bringing out the blankets, bringing out the lawn chairs. They've got coolers. And another event that I'd like to get back to. I actually raced there in 1998, so that was 21 years ago. Hopefully, I'll get back there pretty soon.
Man, I graduated high school in 97.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
So it's okay. Freeber was there, so he's old. Who else was there? Rudolph was there. He's old.
I hadn't even started Shifter Kart Illustrated yet. That was the following year. Yep. I started that in 1999, or late 98.
Yep,
later that year. So what else have you been working on?
So we had the first release of the ECAN Constructors Championship that came out on May 17th. No surprise, Tony Kart continues to lead that, but it's going to be a great battle for everybody behind that. A lot of different brands have made their way up into the top 10 to start out the year. Croc Promotion, including one of them. Nitro Kart there with the majority of their points coming from cadet racers, but again, adding more points with the full-size chassis there in junior and senior competition. So pretty cool to see. Speaking of Nitro Kart, Spencer Conrad, a Nitro Kart Micro Swift driver, was our ECAN driver of the month for the month of April. Spencer was able to win both Micro Swift finals at the United States Pro Kart Series opener in Ocala. So it was a great start to 2019 season for him. And he continues to do that because he won as well at the WK Manufacturers Cup Series event at Road America just a couple weeks ago as well.
Nice. Man, getting it done. Well done.
One of the cool little editorials that we had was a new thing. It's Mechanic Minutes with Dan Schlosser as he traveled to the FIA Karting Championship Academy Trophy event in Germany alongside Team USA driver Luca Mars. So it was a great insight because we've done it through the driver's eyes and maybe more so the parents' eyes, but now Dan's kind of looking at it as a mechanic's view and kind of giving you an idea of what it's like to actually go to European events, especially under the FIA program.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was a really good article. And when he pitched it, I thought it was a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, and the next edition of that will be coming up in a couple weeks as they head to Italy to race, I believe, at Sarno.
We capped things off as well for the ECAN editorial. I was able to put together one of my morning coffee articles, kind of just offered a different pitch on what the much maligned boat anchor, as I talked about it, where engines obviously are thought of as boat anchors when they're no longer useful, but nobody ever thinks about a chassis that's no longer useful. Had a lot of great chatter on Facebook. We had some chatter in the commentary below the article as well. If you haven't read that yet, just search for the morning coffee article on the website. And of course, early in May, our full ECAN trackside live coverage of the SCUSA Spring Nationals from Utah, all available on the website as well. David, podcast though, one of the things about the ECAN Radio Network, of course, is the first time you can listen to any of our content is when we stream it for 4 to 5 days on the ECAN Radio Network. It's either available through the ECAN Radio Network app that you have downloaded to your mobile device, or you can go to ekartingnews.com radio. That is a streaming service, 24/7, 365, just like listening to the radio. It's not on demand. You can't pause it. It's just like listening to the radio. After that, though, David, you prep everything we have. You put it in a podcast form. Then it becomes available on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and Google Play.
Yep, lots of different options to grab our podcasts. Speaking of some of the more recent ones, obviously This Week in Karting, our 9th episode, that's available along with the EKN debrief through the Superkarts USA Spring Nationals, episode 48. We're getting close to 50 on that. So that'll be probably the 50th episode, I think, will be at the end of the month. So that'll be cool. Operation Grassroots, we did talked with Cup Karts North America and KPX Karting Championship. So those are available. And then this week, Operation Grassroots with Buckeye Karting Challenge and an industry insider with Endurance Karting as they prepare for the 24 Hours of America set for Newcastle in the month of June.
Dude, we got to do that one year. I think we got to do that one year. We got to do a 24-hour. I'm looking forward to that.
Does that include 12 hours of sleeping?
Well, for you, it probably would. No one. Well, dude, we'll get 12 guys. We'll each drive an hour.
That sounds like a great idea. Why not? I mean, the entry fee will be a lot lower, won't it?
Dude, crank the barbecue. We'll crank the barbecue up. I'll do the first stint, and I'm good to go for the remaining. I'm good. I'll just. That sounds like a great idea.
That's not a bad. Like you said, if you got the grill going, I mean, it's kind of like it's like going to a race, but being part of the race.
True enough. Just get a 1-2 hour stint in, 12 guys, 2 hours apiece. You're done. I like that idea. On the EKN Radio Network, I mentioned, of course, our 24/7 channel. You're probably listening to it already. If you're listening to this through a podcast. All you got to do is download the EKN Radio Network app. You'll have that 24/7 channel available for you. As I said before, I did an interview with Terry Trader week ahead of the Quincy in the Park Grand Prix. I'm going to line up an interview with Roger Ruthart, 25th anniversary of the Rock Island Grand Prix this year. We're going to do a long-range preview. Still a lot of time, of course. We're 3 months away from the race, but I want to get a preview in so people can find out what's happening for this year. He's told me that they've done some stuff to the track a little bit. We'll talk a bit about the class structure. I think it'll be a good idea to sit down with Roger and give kind of a long-range preview. And David, there's a lot of topics out there right now that I think people would love to hear us talk about, bring some experts in. Probably next week, I'm going to try to get our first roundtable set up. How's that sound?
It's going to be a long discussion. I can already see it. No matter what the topic that we select, even if we hit a multitude of topics, it'll still be probably a podcast that'll be probably at least 2 hours long.
I would not be surprised to say between an hour and 2 hours. Yeah, it depends. You know what? It all depends on who we pick as our guests. Let's be real. Some guys can talk forever.
Yeah, but some guys can only talk with a keyboard. Ooh, snap.
Keyboard warrior. All right, David. Tell them what's coming up on EKN in terms of our EKN Trackside Live coverage to cap off this edition of This Week in Karting.
Yep. So the month of June will be my back-to-back weekends. I head to Charlotte both weekends. The first is United States Pro Kart Series as they host their second event, the Carolina Grand Prix, at the GoPro Motorplex in Mooresville, North Carolina. The following weekend, as we talked about, the WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge at obviously the Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina. That's June 21 through 23rd. We'll be focused mostly on the Manufacturers Cup Series, obviously providing with the EKN live broadcast, but we'll make sure to hit some social media with the road race program as well as the dirt series across the street.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll spend some time over in the dirt. That's be fun.
Oh, both nights, definitely. Friday night for sure, because they're going to be a Friday, Saturday type situation. So that way they have Sunday in the backup in case it does rain. So Friday night for sure, I'll be roaming the dirt paddock and maybe even get it on track, taking some shots, because that's something I haven't done is done photography for dirt track racing.
That's a good idea. Get out there and shoot some shot. I like that. That's awesome. Well, David, we got through it. I appreciate it, buddy. It's been a month since our last This Week in Karting. I'm home. You're on the road for a couple races. I'm actually, my next go-kart race isn't until Amarillo, I think, in mid-July. I got 3 weeks at home to kind of get things battled back in, because with my schedule from the end of June, IndyCar Road America, till you and I race at the Cup Karts Grand Nationals on the first weekend of October, I'm gone for 13 of 16 weekends. So I think I got 4 races for myself in there. We'll see. Otherwise, you and I are head-to-head. First week of July, battle at the Brickyard.
Yeah, I'm down to 177 pounds.
No, you're not. You faked me out on that. Good for you.
I had to bring that up on the podcast because it's hilarious.
I do know now that your son holding your daughter are 177 pounds.
You know, and they kept saying, "Oh, he's going to see the toes." Come on, for people who don't know, I have a messed up toe, and Rob did not see. Rob did not see the toe, and that's what makes it so great. I caught you off guard, and I love doing that, and that's what I'm exactly.
Well, I was like,
that's what I'm going to do at Indy on the last lap: is catch you off guard and put you in the grass and beat you.
Hey, listen, I was proud of you. You told me you lost like 15 pounds. I'm like, David, congratulations, dude. And you faked me out. You're still fat, which I should have known that.
I'm not fat. I'm just big boned. Let's get that. Yeah.
We'll use that. All right, folks, that's it. As I said, David Cole and I getting ready to rock into the summer months. We hope that you guys are ready to go racing or have gone racing already. Get everything dialed up, because there's so much racing going on this weekend, as you know. David's going to get this podcast out. It'll be streaming all weekend, perfect for your drive to the track or whatever it may be. We thank you so much for listening to the EKN Radio Network. If you haven't downloaded the app yet, do it. iTunes, Google Play, download the EKN Radio app. You can hear the 24/7 EKN radio stream anytime, anywhere. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Have a great weekend at the racetrack. Bye for now.